Welcome to the wonderful world of Zenith. I'm Z-Storm and I'll be your host today as we go through this instructional guide to get you started. Quick announcement before the video starts. If at all during the video we're going over something you already know, I went ahead and put chapters in the video so you can go ahead and skip around in the timeline to where you want to be. If you like what you see here today, feel free to come check me out on Twitch as I will be adding Zenith into my consistent live streaming schedule. And while you're there, if you find me entertaining, don't hesitate to tickle that little follow button. There will be a link in the corner of the video as well as in the description down below. If you're looking for more people to talk about Zenith with, you can go ahead and join the Zenith Discord or my Discord, the Stormy Oasis. Both of those links are also in the description. Alright, on to the video. So now we're in Zenith. What do we do? Well, we're gonna go hop in, click the play button, and it's going to load some different servers or shards. We're going to join this Pandowl shard here, and once we join this shard, we are able to create characters. I got some other characters. So we're gonna start off and create a new character here. So you can choose between various body types for your particular character. You can choose all these different head and eye styles. You can then come down here and change your skin tone and your eye color and your lip color. We're going to the hair customization. You can change between all these different hairstyles. Then also change your hair colors over here. We're gonna go on to choosing your class and your role. You have the Blade Master and the Essence Mage as the two primary classes, and you have 3 subclasses for each one. You have the DPS, the support, and the tank. I'm gonna go into those specifically in a video about the Blade Master Beginner's Guide and an Essence Mage Beginner's Guide at a later date, but this particular video is just going to be a general coverage of everything to get you started in the world of Zenith. So let's grab our Blade Master class here and go hop into the game. You can level up each one of these subclasses currently to the level 40 max, with the cap to potentially raise in the future. There's also a 3rd class set to release after the launch of Zenith. I'm going to go over some vital information that everyone may not know how or what to adjust here in the menu. So first off, I want to start by saying that there is a microphone and a headphone button here. So if you want to mute your microphone in the game so nobody else around you can hear you, you can just click that button and you'll see above another player's head if there's a red microphone icon or a red headphone icon. And the red microphone icon means they are muted so you cannot hear them talking. But a red headphone icon means that this button is also triggered, which means they are deafened to the world around them and cannot hear anybody talking to them. The same goes for you. When you have the button toggled, you won't be able to hear anybody in the world around you either. So here on PC VR, you are able to click over to this sound tab and you'll see all your voice channels and these different voice settings here that will be adjustable on all the platforms. But on PC VR, you'll be able to click this gear icon here and be able to change your voice input and your voice output if there's some sort of issue happening for your virtual reality headset. Here on PC VR, you'll be able to go over to this little wrench and be able to change your graphics settings as well. So I'm going to go ahead and change it from low to high. And now the graphics look a little bit better, and I can change the grass density and either turn it up or down depending on how my computer is running. For those of you who are new to virtual reality and comfort may be an issue and you're worried about getting a little bit motion sick, you can come over to this particular tab right here and you'll see all these comfort settings presented in front of you. For locomotion, you can switch to a vignette. And when you walk around, you will then get a little bit of black boxes around your eyes to try and help prevent that motion sickening. This can be toggled on for the locomotion, which is just your normal moving, climbing, gliding, falling, and your turning, you can change it to that. For the turning options, you have smooth turning, which allows you to turn just like this with your joystick. You have snap turn 45, which lets you move your joystick and turn at 45 degrees of angle, and you also have snap turn at 30 degrees, which allows you to turn around in a circle and 30-degree increments. For those of you wondering about seated play, you may notice that if you try to go and sit down, that your swords go way above your head. So let's say I'm sitting in a chair right now. All I have to do is, there is a recenter button that is located right here. So let's say I'm sitting in my chair and I click recenter. I wait a few seconds. Now my whole menu and my swords and everything are positioned to where it would be normally while I'm seated. And then if you move into another position again and stand back up, you just have to click recenter, and it will bring everything right back up to you. You have an option here for jumping or no jumping, and that allows you to use a certain bit of stamina to just jump in place like this, or you can turn it off, and then you can no longer jump with your right A button. You have the option for camera shake, and what that allows you to do is when you're in combat and you get hit or you're hitting certain stuff, it'll shake your camera a little bit to give you that little bit of added immersion. It's something that you can throw on if you want. I personally like playing with it, but go ahead and mess around with it and see if it's something you like. Now, here we have Focus UI, and what that does is we're gonna go ahead and take this off of here. Now, when you click onto it, with Focus UI on, some people don't necessarily want to see stuff moving around and everything while they're in their menu, don't want people coming into their menu. So with that on, it allows you to blank out the world around you and just focus in on your menu and be able to do everything without having to worry about anybody else coming into your area here. So we have one last PC VR advantage here. I know PC VR is getting all these extra advantages, but this is something that just works really good for those who are streaming on their desktops. And you have a default camera, a smooth first-person camera, and a third-person camera. The default camera is what you'll start with whenever the game launches. So it'll look like this right now. You can tell it's a little zoomed in and it's a little different. This is how gameplay looks mostly across all platforms on default. But here on PC, you have smooth first person, and you can trigger this to give it a little bit of a zoomed out, more wide FOV effect so you can see more things that are happening around you. Then you also have the third person option, which allows you to pop up this movable camera box, which you can grab with your grip button and move it around, and then you can see things in third person around your player, and it will stay locked to you while you're moving. So let's say if I wanted to set this here and I wanted to go into combat for some reason, I can just leave that there. Or if I wanted to grab the camera and let's say put it behind me, and I can run around and then I can go and attack some enemies with this cool camera pointing like that at me. But we're gonna change it back to smooth first person for this video. So all you have to do to friend someone is hold the grip button and then aim at them, and it'll pop up this little menu here, and you click add friend. Simple as that. So after they're a friend, you can hold the grip button again, and it'll pop up the same menu, and you'll be able to invite them to a party of which you can see each other on your minimap. So here in Zenith, you get a handheld minimap on your left hand. To open this particular minimap, you press the uppermost button on your left controller, which would be the B button on the index or the Y button on the Oculus Quest controllers. And when you press that, you'll just get this little overlay here. And you have a north, east, south, and west direction compass on it. You can see quest objectives, chest locations, party player locations, world events, and I'm sure much more in the near future. So you can take on new quests around the world, with there being both NPC main story quests. You can also do a side quest here from Mika. We have to go take out some sylphids, and then we can also continue our main story quest here. In regards to quickly seeing what you need to do for a quest, you can pop open your minimap, and here on the left side you'll see the collect sylphid trophies quest and the first flight quest with a brief description on what you need to do. And first flight, head to the top floor of the watchtower. Now you may be like, well, where's the watchtower? I can see over there that there's something in the sky, and that is a beacon coming out of the quest objective to let you know where you have to go. So for more in-depth quest information, we can open up our menu and go over to the quest journal. We will have the main story and the hunt in here right now. We can click the main story and see the different stuff that we have completed and the stuff that we have to complete yet. It will give us a more in-depth description on what we need to do. And if something happens and the quest is bugged out and you can't complete it for some reason, you can just abandon the quest here and go back to the NPC that gave it to you and re-accept it. I'm going to go more in depth on how you can level up later in this video. So one of the really cool things about Zenith is you can climb everything that you see. So if I want to go ahead and just grip and climb on all this stuff, I can do that. But you have to make sure that you watch your stamina, because your stamina will drain down. And if you run out of stamina while you're climbing something, you will just fall off. And there is fall damage, so if you're up somewhere high and you lose stamina, you'll fall straight down and probably die. So the default gliding system in Zenith leaves a little bit to be desired. When you're gliding, there's nothing really unique about it. It's just like a normal gliding mechanic. But that's where sensitive gliding comes into play. So if we open up our menu and go into our comfort settings, we can change our basic gliding to sensitive gliding or strafe, which is a variation of sensitive that allows you to move your body even a little bit more once you get comfortable with it. We're just going to go to this particular mode. Now what we'll be able to do is we will be able to extend our arms out to our sides just like this, and we can control our flight like we have wings by tipping our hands down or tipping them up depending on the type of speed that you're gaining as you're going down. So let's go ahead and jump off so you can see I'm straight and I'm moving slow. But as I dip my hands down more, I can fly down and then we can go up. And then you can fly down and get like low to the ground and do all sorts of really cool different flying effects by moving your body around and twisting your hands forward and backwards. It takes a little bit to get used to, but once you figure out how to do it, it is insanely fun. It is by far one of my favorite VR mechanics. One of the other cool things introduced in Zenith is the zipline mechanics. You will find these little zip lines located all around the world of Zenith, and you can just go ahead and grab onto them. You'll be able to zipline to many places without using any stamina. And usually when you zipline somewhere, you'll see something that looks like a little bit of wind in the air, like that over there. Those are called updrafts. If we fly into those updrafts, you can see where my stamina is at right now. You will be able to restore your stamina a little bit while you're in those updrafts. If you do it just right, you can actually just keep full stamina while you're in this thing and just hover around. There are many spots in the game that require you to hit these updrafts to be able to get to different places, such as turning on levers and hitting different buttons for quests. So if you're finding yourself low on stamina at first, Mika has an introductory quest called the Lucky Pandal, and that allows you to find 3 Pandal statues out in the first area here. And if you touch them and then come back to her, she'll give you +1 stamina. Another thing you can do in Zenith if you feel like you don't have enough stamina to climb and fly and do different things, you'll be able to find these things scattered across the world called Amara's Tears. And you can take these tears and gather them up in your inventory, and then we can head back over to the Shrine of Amara. The Shrine of Amara can be found roughly in this location on the map, or if you look to the skies, you will see a blue beam, and then once we get here we can go up to the quest part, and right now I'm in progress on the quest, but I can complete it. And now that I've completed the tier 2 level for myself, I can click it again and go to the Aetheric upgrade tier 3 and accept that quest. And now I must collect 20 tears to be able to get to tier 3. And every time you level up your stamina, it does add a pretty decent chunk of time to how long you can fly and climb. Stamina boost can also be found on equipment once you craft or find higher level armor throughout the game. One tip for finding the Amara's Tears is you'll be able to listen for a little jingling bell sound. And if you hear that sound, that means you are pretty darn close to finding one of those tears. As you explore the world of Zenith, you'll be able to find various fruits and vegetables scattered about, like these oranges in this tree here, and you can click the grip button to pull an item towards you and put it into your inventory for cooking. Or if you check your inventory and go over to the cooking section and click on gathering, you can see if the item has a specific use. Like this orange can give you +100 health. I can now go into my inventory and grab an orange out of there and put it up to my mouth for 2 seconds. And I will eat it, and it will give me a health boost for 15 seconds. You can also use trigger and drag these items into your quick slots to have them on your belt for ease of use when you need them the most. Picking up enough ingredients of one type will allow you to level up your gathering skill for whatever that ingredient is. With a higher level gathering skill for a specific ingredient, you become more efficient and gain a higher % chance of doubling that ingredient from gathering. Zenith also contains the ability to cook your very own food. Using these complex food items that you can craft is a key to surviving in the world of Zenith. So once you hit level 3 in game, you'll be able to go back into the city of Zenith and go talk to Brim, who is located right next to the shop here in town, And when you talk to him, you can go ahead and get this quest, which he will then give you a cooking station. He requests us to purchase 1 milk and gather 5 oranges. So here in the store, we can buy various base ingredients. So let's go ahead and buy 4 more oranges and 1 milk, even though we already have it. And let's say this recipe. So now we're gonna take the oranges and milk back over to Brim. And now we have completed the first quest from him and can come back over here, go to cooking, and then toggle our cooking station on. You can receive different quests from Brim to be able to unlock new recipes, as well as find new recipes hidden throughout the world in different chests. I'm going to go over a little bit of the cooking basics, but I'm going to dive more into that on a specific cooking-based video. So the first thing we're going to make here, let's make some cookies. So it's going to require some milk, some sugar, and some flour. Now there's some basic instructions here and here to tell us what to do. It says warm the milk in the pot by turning the dial to match the indicator. So we're going to take this milk right here and we're going to put it in this pot. But as you can see, nothing's happened. So we have to take one of these fuel cells and put it on here and push that in. Now, as this little green thing is moving, we have to match the little indicator notch on the dial to make sure that we don't burn the milk. And then it will turn into a little milk ball, whatever this milk ball is, and then we drop it inside there. Now it says take the sugar and throw it straight into the cauldron. So we're going to take the sugar and put it right into the cauldron because we don't have to do anything with it. They want us to brown the flour in the skillet, tossing it up into the air frequently so you don't burn it. Now we're going to take some of this flour right here, and we have a pan. We're going to put it in the pan, and we're going to throw it in the air and hopefully not burn it. Woo! All right. Just like that. Boom. Perfect. Now we have a non-burnt flour ball. We'll drop that into there. Next thing you know, boom, we got baked cookies. So while you're in Zenith, you may encounter different bodies of water like this, and instead of just walking through them like normal, you can swim. All you have to do is put your hands to your chest and make a swimming motion, and you aim your head in the direction that you want to swim. But make sure to watch carefully, as you will run out of stamina from swimming. At this moment, the game does not punish you for staying under the water for prolonged periods of time, so there's no need to worry about drowning. Another little movement trick that you may not figure out right away in-game is that you can sprint, just like many other VR games. When you're walking around, if you press in on your left joystick, it'll allow you to move faster, so you don't have to worry about getting around Zenith, just trying to fly and climb everything. One of the cool things about the sprinting in Zenith is, as long as you're not in combat, you're not going to lose any stamina. But as soon as I decide to go whack a Sylphid on the head, bonk. Now that I'm in combat, I drain my stamina bar relatively fast. So you want to be careful when you're sprinting around the world to make sure that you don't get trapped in combat if you're just trying to travel from area to area. Naughty! Stop it! Bad Sylphid! So the next thing we're going to talk about here is transmogrifications, or transmogs for short. They allow you to add cosmetic overlays to your armor so you can really fine-tune your character and make them look how you want without affecting any of the stats on the armor. Now, you must have specific cosmetic gear such as the founder gear or beater gear that you can earn via the Discord Zenith referral system. I'm not sure how long that referral system will last, but I have a link down below that'll get you started with 3 referral points, and then you can start inviting your friends too. Now, my referral gear isn't necessarily in-game right now, but if I did have it in here, I would see a cosmetic item, and I could go up to here, click on cosmetic, and then press trigger and drag the item over here, and then it would overlay its visuals over my character's current armor. So one way to get a decent amount of experience is to just follow the main storyline of the game. Follow exactly what Mika says to do carefully, as well as every other NPC when you continue along your path in the game. If you happen to get stuck on what you need to do, you can refer back to pressing the B button and open the minimap on your left hand, and it will pull down the quick menu that tells you the things that you still need to do, like I need to collect 3 more Sylphid horns, I need to check the eastern farmlands, and I need to collect 20 tiers. While some of those may be side quests, I can once again just open up my menu and check my quest journal to see what the main story mission is. During this time doing story quests, you may hit a point where you can't continue until you hit a certain level because the quest is level locked. And this is where side quests and world events come into play. So side quests such as collecting the Sylphid Horns, or side quests from people like Shin who want you to go ahead and hunt some Sylphids. Completing the side missions from Shin and various other NPCs grants you XP and Zen. Now, world events such as this one right here are a fantastic way to gain experience, especially if you do it in groups. I will go specifically into this shortly. So, playing the game and feeling like you don't want to be part of a particular subclass anymore, I'm playing the game as Blade Master, and I'm a tank right now, but let's say I want to be a DPS. I'll open up my menu here and go over to the Godstone tab, and on the left side here, I could just click the blade, and so now I am a DPS Blade Master. I've been brought back down to level 1, and then I can start leveling up this particular subclass and all of the Godstones that go with it. Do know that once you do swap your subclass, you have to wait 60 seconds before you can swap back to another subclass. Now, being that this subclass is level 1 and my other subclass was level 4, I will gain double XP on this subclass until it surpasses the level of my other subclass. Kind of a way to make it so once you hit the max level 40, you don't have to sit back down and grind out all the 40 levels on each individual subclass. One of my favorite things to do in Zenith is world events. They're nice grindy events that you can do to get items to craft better weapons and armor, and when done at the correct levels, net some juicy experience. But even if you fail the event, you still get some experience and Zen, and some dancing sparks which are used to craft. So just like our little science bot friend says here, you can put your hands together and that is how you revive yourself. So world events are timed events that pop up all over the map for a limited amount of time. Get there, and then once the event starts, you also have a limited amount of time to complete the event if it is a wave killing event, or if it's an event where you have to protect whatever object that you're protecting, then you have to just ride out the timer and make sure that nothing completely depletes the health on the object that you are protecting. There are definitely more types of world events out there, but I'm going to also go into that at a later time. When we were completing these events in groups, we did notice that every person that was in the group had to do at least 10% of the damage of the maximum health of each and every one of the creatures to be able to get the maximum amount of experience and items. Otherwise, the event is broken into 5 tiers depending on how much damage that you can do to all of the mobs. You get a base set experience and a base set reward. So like this one, we got dancing sparks from it even though we lost, but if we would have completed it, we would have got a lot more dancing sparks and a lot more experience. There are some world events that trigger an event chain, and what that means is you would complete one event and then another event would pop up right after that would start in, let's say, 30 seconds, and then another event would pop up right after that would also start in 30 seconds, and if you can complete all of them, you get bonus experience at the end of that event train, but I'm not exactly sure where on the map that these event trains are located at this time. But I will update you in the future when I do an advanced Zenith player's guide. Godstones allow you to gain and swap different abilities around. You have your main abilities on your ether disc like dash, your downward cadence, your horizontal cadence, downwards power strike, the horizontal power strike, and your ultimate move. It also does change based on whether you're a Blade Master or an Essence Mage. Currently, my class is a Blade Master. Once we hit different levels, we will unlock different types of Godstones that we can swap between here. So let's say for the Protector's Vow, it allows you at the end of your dash to create a barrier that shields all allies within 6 meters. Or the Fast Footwork will let you dash in the direction you're currently moving and then gain 25% movement speed for 3 seconds after the dash. So those are 2 different types of Godstones that you can choose between to suit what your needs are in your gameplay style. But with these particular Godstones, you'll be able to get minor upgrades and major upgrades into which you can put skill points into. Every one of these different Godstones has its own XP bar, and every time you spend a skill point on a particular Godstone, like this one has 1 skill point right now, but we don't have any minor or major upgrades. Godstones have tiers just like weapons and armor. Currently this is a common Protector's Vow Godstone, but we could potentially get a green uncommon or a blue unique. And once you get the higher tiered ones, you'll be able to find minor upgrades and major upgrades on those Godstones. And those are the ones that you more want to have selected and put your experience points into. Now, once we get a higher tier Godstone, you'll just have this Godstone sitting around, and you can go ahead and trash it if you want, but you currently don't get anything back for it. So you might want to hold on to them for now until a future update where you might get some sort of reward or something when you scrap your old Godstones. So in Zenith, you can craft armor and weapons at synthesis stations, such as this one. Now, you just have to collect the different ingredients that are listed here and have enough Zen to be able to complete the upgrade. So in this situation, we are going to select level 5 armor, and let's say the chestplate. We want to craft the chestplate. Now, I can see right here that I have enough dancing sparks, and I'm going to go ahead and press this. Now we see a template pop up for the armor item, so I'm going to grab the dancing sparks and put them onto the armor piece, and then it should turn into an item that I'm able to put into my body. I can now open up my inventory and press and hold the trigger and drag it over and equip that item. Now I have this uncommon regular galleon body plate. The synthesis stations are located all over the world of Zenith, and you can craft and equip items that are 2 levels higher than your current level. So right now I'm level 4. If I were to craft that level 7 version of my chestplate, I would not be able to equip it until I get to at least a level 5. The items required to craft this equipment can be found through world events, through killing different enemies, and through different chest drops. Remember to never trash any items that you don't know what they're used for. As with any MMO, every item has its purpose. So next up are enhancement stations. Now, enhancement stations work a lot like enchantments in other games. You can take your items and level up their stats using the enhancement. These enhancement stations require you to use enhancement dust. And you get this dust as drops from chests in the world or from breaking down your old items that you had that you no longer use anymore. So with this particular terrible sword here, we can go ahead and use 15 enhancement dust to add a +1 stat boost to it. Boom. We can use the basic enhancement dust up until +4 on the items, and then it starts requiring the super enhancement dust. Now, super enhancement dust is a little harder to get. You can get super enhancement dust from scrapping your uncommon level equipment, and once you get past that point, you're going to need mega enhancement dust, and mega enhancement dust is pretty hard to get, and you're not going to want to waste it on your low tier gear anyways. And when you do start getting to the higher levels of enhancements, your chance of success also decreases significantly. So not only are you using your higher level enhancement dust, you're also risking it not even working on the equipment that you are upgrading. So I will be personally saving all this dust for some really good equipment down the line. So I don't want to talk about this too much right now, as I will be making a dedicated lore video in the future. So I do have a video up currently that slightly dives into the lore of the game and explains some other basic things about the game that you should know, and you can find that right up in this corner probably. But if you are wanting lore information, there's something really cool that they put in Zenith. Scattered across the world, there are these little stones right here that are called touchstones, and if you walk up to them and put your hand on them and hold them there, it will open up and reveal a little bit of info about the Zenithian history.
Look at this place. An entire world untouched by the fracture. They can't understand the pain of my people. How could they? I shouldn't be here. The heir to the oasis most definitely should not be here. I need to get back to the desert. And soon.
And there you have it. First off, I wanted to say if you don't want any spoilers to the endgame content, to skip over this part now. I will wait 15 seconds to make sure you have paused the video or skipped to the next timestamp. Okay, ready? Currently, endgame content includes some epic world boss fights, requiring many players to come together to take on the different tactics that the world bosses will throw at you, such as laser sentry turrets and toxic sludge that will almost instantly kill you. There are several ways that you can go about defeating these world bosses, but that is completely dependent on your playstyle. There's definitely more to come for the endgame content, but I will cover that in the upcoming future content section. The future of the game has a lot yet to come. Don't forget, this is an MMO and it will be consistently updated like an MMO. And the expansions and or DLCs are planned to be free for this game, with the only purchasable content being cosmetics. There are 3 instance dungeons planned in the weeks following the release of Zenith. Instance dungeons are dungeons you must queue up for and join with other players that are set outside the normal overworld of Zenith. These dungeons can include some insanely good loot if you defeat the boss at the end of them. There will be a content update coming a few weeks after launch that will include 16 new side quests, the addition of a final overworld dungeon, and lots of endgame progression tuning. As stated early on in the video, we will be seeing a third class coming in 2022, but what it is yet to be revealed. We will also be seeing an addition to the crafting system as well as many other systems not yet shown. Not many know there was a Kickstarter for this game around 3 years ago. There was a stretch goal chart made that basically stated what would be added if they reached a certain amount of money in the backing process. This included pets, player vendors, player housing, transmogs, which we currently have, and a playable race of cat people called the Minico. Ramen VR definitely has a lot in their bowl with all this content planned in the near future. I hope this beginner's guide helped you learn some things to get you started in the world of Zenith, and might even be a resource to come back to in the future. Also, once you learn what Schmooze Island is in this game, I have a link in the description to some custom merchandise you can snag to support the channel. Alrighty, that's it folks, thanks again for watching, and as always, never give up. Catch you later.